Hello and welcome to Bloodhouse, the show where we talk about art house horror. I'm your host, Joshua Conkle.
And I'm your co-host, Drusilla Adeline. How you doing, Josh?
Good. We have a very special guest this episode. He is the writer of Freaky and the upcoming Time Cut. He was a co-host of the podcast I missed most in the entire world, Attack of the Queer Wolf. It is the one and only Michael Kennedy. Hello, Michael.
Hi, thanks for having me. You're our Queer Wolf fan.
I am a huge Queer Wolf fan. It's true.
I miss doing it.
You should come back. You know, you always come back.
We're going to do another ep, I think, soon. Just like a one-off again. We've done a couple of those over the pandemic, so I think we're going to do another one.
That would be great. So what's been going on? How are you? Have you seen anything good lately? What's happening? I asked this like I didn't see you less than 12 hours ago.
Less than 12 hours ago.
Every day
Every
of my
single
life.
day. I saw you twice yesterday, too. Which
Yeah,
was lucky me. We watched... I saw Battle Royale for the first time ever last night.
I know.
I can't believe I've never seen the movie. And I can't believe am I going to be in trouble for admitting that?
No, it's a great movie though, isn't it?
It's so... Honestly, it wasn't what I expected.
What did you expect?
I think I expected something like, just based on the way people talked about it for so long, I think I expected it to be a little bit more serious in tone, but I'm glad it wasn't.
Yeah, it's a melodrama for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, like I said to you afterwards, I was like, it's like a soap.
Yeah. And I think it's that way by design because it's not doing like a political thing really like Squid Game. It's doing like it takes everything that's painful about being a teenager and then literalizes it and turns it up to 11. You know what I mean? So all those feelings are just really like truly life and death. All the crushes, all the betrayals, and
it's so
all
good.
That sort of stuff. Yeah.
And the thing I loved about it because of that, I think if it had been like super self-serious, we would have spent the first hour of people being like, what do we do? Blah, blah, blah. And then like they just literally take you into it. And there's like a dude like, go get fertilizer. And then there's another girl that like is just essentially an assassin immediately. Like, there's no bullshit put into like weirdly developing the characters. It's just like, here are the characters.
Yeah.
Just pretend they're already developed and this is where they're at now. And I loved that about it. You know, it was super fun. And I just loved all the different crushes.
Yeah, it's such a good movie.
People getting killed by the person that they love, and then they're like, I love you.
I know.
I just shot you 6 times.
I love the scene where the girl is dying, and then her crush finds her, and then she's dying in his arms, and she says, God, can I say one more thing? And it shows that on the screen. It shows the copy,
title card or whatever.
And then the one more thing that she wants to say is, you look so cool.
But I love that that's such an honest teenage thing.
Truthful. Yeah, it's really truthful.
Yeah.
What about you, Drusilla? What have you been watching?
I just introduced a friend to The Man with Two Brains last night.
Oh, I've never seen that. I've never either. I know what we're watching next, Josh.
The best Steve Martin movie. And it's Steve Martin and Carl Reiner's take on horror.
Oh, right.
Oh.
So it is as much Donovan's Brain as it is like Gothic Hammer as it is Giallo.
Mm-hmm.
There's a masked black glove elevator killer throughout the movie. That's a big plot point, who is played by a very, very, very famous celebrity of the time. And a wonderful cameo. Kathleen Turner gives her body heat best, as crazy, sexy, and evil as humanly possible. And the amount of finger sucking in that movie is insane.
Wait, you can't tell us who the killer is because it's a spoiler? Is that what I'm...
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you who the killer is. Yeah.
What year did it come out? I want to guess who the killer is.
It came out in 1983.
So you're saying they're famous at the time. So I'm going to guess it's Dom DeLuise.
Oh my god, it's not, but I want it to be so bad.
Really
I would love to be killed by Dom DeLuise.
Yeah.
It's a TV personality, is all I'll say.
Shelley Long.
Oh my god, I wish.
Who's TV? Michael Landon, 1983.
You're thinking the wrong kind of TV.
Okay.
But
I'm just
watch
trying to
it.
get people from my childhood in the early 80s who were on TV.
It's a delight. I think
at the time.
I think you'll love it. It's so freaking funny. The score feels like it's ripped out of Reanimator. Also, Jeffrey Combs is in it.
Oh.
Like young Twinkie Jeffrey Combs as like a surgeon.
I think he's kind of cute.
Oh, I think he's more than kind of cute. I love him. Yeah, it's a delight. It's so goddamn funny. Sissy Spacek plays a brain.
Like, oh my God, I love this movie already.
A brain? Like Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Like floating in a jar. The plot of the movie is that Steve Martin is a brilliant brain surgeon who marries like a female Bluebeard, basically.
Yeah.
A gold digger in Kathleen Turner. And while on their honeymoon in Austria, where there's a black glove killer on the loose, he falls in love with a disembodied brain in a jar.
Yeah.
And decides that, well, because his wife is awful and is trying to kill him, maybe he'll just swap their brains.
Oh.
It's amazing. It's the best.
I want to see it. That sounds good.
Anyway, what have you been watching, Josh?
Well, I don't want to belabor it, so I'll go through these two things really quickly. But I've been watching, I've been making my way through Shudder's folk horror collection.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, so I watched Eyes of Fire from 1983, which we could do an episode on. I mean, it's super arty, but basically it's a lot like The Witch. It's a period piece where, you know, some settlers are driven by the Shawnee into this valley where they find an abandoned homestead and decide to stay there for a while, and then shit gets really weird, and there's a witch and there are ghosts, and it's just very arty farty and very good, and really loved it. And then I followed that up with Allison's Birthday from 1981. I loved that one especially. It's a lot like it feels like an Ira Levin novel, like Rosemary's Baby or Stepford Wives. It has that sort of plot device where you don't know if this woman is being paranoid or if there actually is a plot against her. It's sort of like a teenage version of Rosemary's Baby. I really liked it a lot. So yeah, I love both of those. That's Eyes of Fire and Allison's Birthday, both on Shudder.com.
And available in Severin's new All the Haunts BRs box set.
Yes, and I still
all in celebration of Kayla Janice's new film.
Right, I need to watch that documentary. I'm really interested in that.
It's amazing. It's 4 hours, but it's deserving of its 4 hours. It's truly, truly amazing.
Yeah. Well, this is the show where we talk about art house horror movies. Michael, you know, I know you. I know that you watch horror broadly, but you're a Scream fanboy. You wrote Freaky, which is a delightful, horror comedy. I know that you love slashers. So I would say that your favorites, at least, sort of veer towards the more commercial. Yeah. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah. Slashers are definitely my fave.
So what do you think when you hear the term art house horror? How do you respond to that?
I like that term better than elevated horror. I think elevated horror has been co-opted in a lot of wrong ways.
We've banned that word on the show. Yeah. We don't use it.
Even the new Scream kind of discusses elevated horror, and I think they actually make fun of people who make fun of it, and also people who love it. So I thought that was fun. But art house horror, I think of just like really, for me, it's more. Do I sound on my teeth? Sorry, I can see myself on camera. When I think of art house horror, I think of weirdly the first thing that comes to mind for me is just mood. I think of like moody, very beautiful looking. I think of just stuff. It's just like it's hard to put into words because you almost have to see it to know it.
Yeah,
but I feel like it's
pornography.
It's like moody and beautiful and weird and gorgeous. And honestly, the word elevated is correct.
Yeah,
it's less about, for me, they're less about plot and more about just characters and just a slow burn and
tone and
it's very auteur, I would say. Even the movie we're talking about today, who I'm not a huge fan of the director normally, I feel like is an auteur. So
well, let's get into it then. You have brought for us from 2012 by writer-director Rob Zombie, Lords of Salem.
The curse, the Lords of Salem, possessing the souls of the Salem women, which the devil's child would inherit the earth.
Satan, come to us.
What's your history with this movie?
So, okay, I've never been a huge zombie fan. I will admit it. Like, I've seen most of his movies. I actually really like The Devil's Rejects. I'm not a huge fan of his Halloweens and stuff. So I always avoided this movie, to be quite frank, because I felt like House of a Thousand Corpses, I think that had to do for me with just being like told for the longest time before that movie came out that it was like so fucked up and it was going to be like, you know, this new take on Texas Chainsaw. And at the end of the day, it took 3 years for the studio to release the damn thing.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling underwhelmed by it. And I think that was because we were sold a different movie than what he was really trying to make. Right. But then I followed up with The Devil's Rejects, which I thought was really, really effective. And then I just didn't really care for his Halloween movies. So I kind of wrote him off after that. So when this came out, I just assumed, which you shouldn't do, obviously, just assumed it was going to be another schlocky, shitty characters saying the F word 400 times a minute. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, so like I avoided watching it. And then I didn't watch it for the first time until like 6 months ago. Brian had my fiance. My fiance Brian had it on his list of things he wanted to watch. And so we finally put it on, and within 5 minutes, I was like, I actually really love this movie. Like, I decided I was going to love it because it was just so yeah, it was like 6 months ago. It was the first time I watched it. And then I watched it again for this. And I really feel the movie. Like, I think it's zombie at its best.
I had a very similar experience. I never really, I think of like Project Runway, where Nina Garcia would say about certain contestants, I question the taste. And that's how I felt about Rob Zombie. Like, all of his movies felt like big corn with a K energy to me in a bad way. I really didn't like anything by him. But it was so frustrating to watch his movies because he has such a great eye, and the production design is always so cool.
I mean, the Halloween movies look for me fucking gorgeous. Like, especially Halloween.
They do.
It's a beautiful movie.
They do. But they're sort of overdone a lot of the time. It's like Coco Chanel said, before you leave the house, take one thing off. Like, Rob Zombie needs to take several things off before he leaves the house for me. And so I always felt frustrated with his movies. Similar, I felt the same way about Gregg Araki movies, to be honest. Like, the writing for me is overdone, and all the characters kind of talk the same. They're always like, fuck you, you fucking fuck, or whatever. And then inexplicably, all 20 characters talk like that. So I wasn't expecting much when I saw Lords of Salem, but for me, it's him being really deliberate and considered, and to quote Nina Garcia, editing himself. And his version of that is not the same as like Ari Aster's version of being considered editing himself. It's still like very baroque and over the top, but for him, it's very considered. And for me, it puts this movie way ahead of his other films. And I agree. And I really like this movie a lot. Drew, I know that you have a different relationship to Rob Zombie.
As the Midwestern hillbilly punk of the group,
we're in the Midwest.
I adore Rob Zombie. I'm from Indiana. I'm from Hoosier at heart.
So,
perfect.
I'm from Kentucky, I will point out, and also a hillbilly. But go
fine. Okay, fine. Well, then we're all Midwestern assholes. Fine. We can all go get a chili dog down at
yes.
We can all get a 5-way down at what's it called? Anyway,
Tommy's?
Not Tommy's. No, Tommy's is here in LA. I was thinking of the one in Ohio.
Skyline.
Skyline Chili, yes. Yeah. Oh, please. Anyway, so I love Rob Zombie. I grew up on his music. I grew up on his movies. Like, Devil's Rejects came out when I was in high school, and it was very formative.
Right.
I love that film. And like, as messy as something like 31 or House of a Thousand Corpses are, I still love those movies because I still love that world. I love the production design. I love the cast. I love the writing, his editing, his like weird mixed media, like
that's a really good way to put it.
Is amazing and delightful. I like his Halloween movies. Like, I'm not a slasher fan, and I like his Halloween movies. And I think that kind of goes part and parcel. I think one of the things to keep in mind about Zombie is that his like reference point for horror is much closer to like 70s and 80s like Italian and Spanish splatter movies,
right?
And that's what comes through so much in Lords of Salem than so the like Tobe Hooper, like Southern Fried Americana stuff in his other films. Yeah. And so I think it synthesizes a little bit better in Lords of Salem for audiences who are accustomed to the, you know, fucking South thing. However, I do appreciate and relate to that because, you know what? As much as that feels like, yeah, every Rob Zombie character talks the same, as someone who grew up in that part of the world, all of those people talk that way. Same with Gregg Araki. Like, okay, yeah, every Gregg Araki character sounds like a Gregg Araki character, but I know so many LA queers that talk like Gregg Araki characters. So I'm like, all right, fine.
Same.
I will say this though about Rob Zombie, like, love him or hate him, the dude has a POV.
Like,
for sure.
Very much
you know what I mean?
Very
like,
much
he
so.
knows what he wants. He knows what he wants it to look like. He knows what he wants it to sound like. He knows what kind of performances he wants, because even if it's a good or a bad performance, there's a choice with everything he's doing. And I actually really respect that. Like,
well, you're going to like that thing or you're not, right?
Yeah.
And he has that's why I think he counts as art house, like as opposed to The Devils, which I think some people might say is art house but not horror. Some people might say that this is horror but not art house, but I think it is because he's a very strong auteur. Like he's very interested in what he's interested in.
Lords of
very
Salem
strong
qualifies.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think Devil's Rejects absolutely qualifies.
I would agree with that too, and I would think even Halloween 2 in a way does.
Oh, Halloween 2 is trying to take that series into that direction.
And I didn't love it, but I
doesn't work.
I've always respected that movie just from the pure standpoint of him going, I'm going to make the fucking movie I want to make. You're either with me or not. I don't give a shit. He made the movie for himself, which I love when a director does, because that's what all good directors should do.
I mean, he makes every movie for himself, as evidenced by the fact that he cast his wife, who he's madly in love with, as the lead in everything.
Yeah, and can we tell people, the audience listening right now, to stop bitching about Sherri Moon Zombie being in everything? She's going to be in everything he does. It's fine. It doesn't hurt you. Yeah. And also, that statement is about 20 years old at this point.
Right. I want to see her as Lily Monster. I think
I kind of do too, regardless of her Canada thing yesterday.
I know. Listen,
I know.
We can't bring up Sherri Moon Zombie without talking about her support for the convoy.
We know too much about everybody.
I think that's true. I was just surprised because I think, I think of these as like rockers and film people. And so I guess I just assumed that they would be progressive, which I shouldn't have assumed because I come from a family from Kentucky, a family of hillbillies who are people who are very libertarian by nature. And, yeah, I guess I shouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah. But
it is what it is. Do you guys think that Sherri Moon Zombie is good?
I mean, that's a complicated question. I think she's really good in Lords of Salem.
I think she's amazing in the Firefly family films.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. She's like, her thing is like histrionic insanity. Like, I would really like to see Rob Zombie's take at DC. I would love to see him casting Sherri Moon as like Harley Quinn. Yeah. I think that would be really fucked up and amazing. But Margot Robbie's doing very well for the time, so
that's a really interesting thought.
She would excel at that. That's the kind of role she plays.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I think that she's a good actor, but I think it might be a question that's beside the point because I do think she's likable and compelling. But I think a movie like Lords of Salem, which is so considered, what if it were somebody who's quote unquote more talented? Like what would that do for the movie? I just couldn't help but wonder. I do think that she's good in it. Yeah. I don't know. For me, she's a bit like a horror version of someone like Drew Barrymore, right? Like I never thought Drew Barrymore was a great actor, but you like her and you want to watch her, and there's something about her that's really compelling.
I mean, yeah, even when she's fucking walking around in Halloween 2 with a white gown and a horse, and you're like, why the fuck is she in this movie in this way? It's like you can't take your eyes off of her. Like, and there is something pleasing about her performance, whether it's good or bad. I think the thing that I really love about her in Lords of Salem is, like you said earlier with the movie, it's so edited. meaning she actually underplays something for once. And I think that's why she excels in the movie for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same. I think she's really good in this in particular. Yeah. I do want to bring up something, Drusilla, you brought up earlier Rob Zombie's references for this movie. I do want to point out that this movie came out in 2012 and is thus really ahead of its time, because those movies like Babadook and It Follows and Hereditary, those didn't come out till later. So this movie is in conversation with, sort of arty movies from the 70s. And it's the first of its kind, besides maybe House of the Devil, that I saw that was referencing those movies, which then became the thing to do in the 2010s. And this is really the first that does it.
Yeah, it's really interesting the time it came out, because a lot of like mumblecore horror movies were already coming out, like House of the Devil, like The Innkeepers. And they were in conversation with those 70s films using their, I think, Kiss of the Vampire, the Zan Cassavetes movie, Kiss the Damned, had come out. And so they all had that more like mumblecore approach to being in connection with, the sleazier side of 70s horror, but they were just playing into it as an aesthetic and as like a tone and a mood to set you into the more like mumblecore drama that they were doing. And so it's used in their graphic design and their opening credits and their posters, but that's kind of it. Meanwhile, here comes Rob Zombie toning himself down more into that direction, but even when he's toned down like that, it's sort of like, how healthy can Diet Mountain Dew be?
Right, exactly. I forgot to give a synopsis for this movie, just in case anyone hasn't seen it.
What's synopsis?
I mean, such as it is. Basically, Sherri Moon Zombie plays Heidi, who's a radio DJ in Salem, Massachusetts, and she receives an anonymous record delivered to the station by a band called the Lords, and it's very weird, sort of avant-garde music that she plays at night at home and has a very weird reaction to, and then the next day plays it on air at the station, and you can see all of the women of Salem having a very weird, being affected by it in some way. And things get weirder and more fucked up from there. Let's just say that. I mean, that's kind of it in a nutshell without giving any spoilers away. Maybe we should talk about some of the beats of this movie. We open with Meg Foster as a witch in the 1600s. Meg Foster of They Live and a ton of great cult movies. It's so nice to see her. I mean, this movie has a lot of horror legends in it. I mean, Barbara Crampton is in it.
Ken Foree.
Ken Foree, yeah.
Dee Wallace Stone.
Patricia Quinn.
Yeah, he loves casting. That's why I do love. I am honestly normally not a huge fan of like old horror folks stunt casting in movies, but I think he's the one that does it the best, because he actually gives them stuff to do in their movies as opposed to just being like, oh, remember her and how she was fun back in the day and now she's here. Like even Margot Kidder in Halloween 2, I think she's actually really good in that movie, and I thought that was a really good casting choice. So I love that he kind of, and weirdly enough, Rob Zombie is like a sanctuary for like women above a certain age characters. Yeah, he really loves to lean into that, and I think that's really cool too, because it's super unexpected and not a lot of people.
I don't know how old Sherri Moon Zombie is in this movie, but she's not 25, which I think
she's
more
40,
commercial
I think.
movie. Yeah. And she's still young and cool looking and vibrant, and they style her really cool, except for the dreadlocks, which I really hate.
Yeah, those dreadlocks are very unfortunate.
That's what I mean by editing yourself. I mean, the production design is so good. Her costumes are so rad, and then they put her in these dreads. It's just like,
okay, but he's been wearing dreadlocks since the 90s.
But they're bad.
I know, I know. But that's the kind of thing, you can't tell him that because he doesn't see that. So
you can only trust your own taste to a certain point. At some
that's
point,
really the situation where you need a producer or somebody in your life to go, well, what's the reason for this choice? It doesn't play into the movie at all.
Yeah.
Like, can't she just have long blonde hair?
I mean, imagine how much better the movie would be if she had just like long, beautiful, blown out blonde hair. That's my opinion. And I'm
agreed.
But
again,
yeah.
But again, like the amount of like Midwestern rocker girls and like metalhead girls all have that hair. The shock blonde dreadlocks, like, it's unfortunate, but it's like, it's true. And I think letting some of that messiness of their personhood into these movies actually makes these movies better.
Well, because
it reads as a critique of this character.
Yeah. And it informs the character a little bit. Like, she thinks she's kind of like, you know, like, I think the character and the job she has is kind of fun for the movie too, because it's kind of straddling an era where that kind of radio is almost going out of vogue anyway. Mm-hmm. So like, the 2 times I've seen it, I've read it as like this kind of style is like a clinging to like a past that is almost on the way out. And I think it is a deliberate choice, because that kind of shock jock radio and stuff, like, no one listens to the fucking radio like now. And like in 2012, I think we were even starting to venture away from just listening to the radio. So like, if you want to look at it, you can look at her as like her, and the whole radio thing is like clinging to something from like 20 years earlier, including the hair.
I think clinging to the past is very much a very strong through line through all of his movies.
Yeah.
Down to like the Firefly clan naming themselves after Marx Brothers characters. Like it's very much in his style and the way that he makes films, and it's also very much in like the narrative and the thought behind most of his characters' actions. Like, almost all of his characters are either obsessed with the past in a way, in the Halloween films especially, or they are figures that feel like have been trapped in the past and are just now unleashed on our world, and don't know how to interact with it.
Well, he always sets his films up too to kind of feel timeless, right? Like, you don't really ever know what year it's supposed to be. Like, Brian and I, the first time we were watching this, we're like, is this supposed to be 2012? And then like you see like a Keurig or something, so you're like, okay. But like, even the first Halloween he did, I feel like you're not supposed to know when that movie's set. But then the dumbass Weinsteins make them do like a scene where there's someone like holding a cell phone, and you're just like, you just killed the whole illusion that he was going for with this movie by forcing this scene in there. You know what I mean? And I love that his characters never embrace technology.
Yeah, I love that aesthetic so much. I mean, that's what Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which I worked on, was doing, was it's mixing the best of the 60s, 70s, and 80s aesthetically. But again, the network executives would like, they made us do a reshoot in the pilot so that Ambrose was on a laptop so that people wouldn't get confused. And it's like the number one question I still get asked from fans is like, what year is it? And it's like, who cares? That's the wrong question.
Right.
It's like, it's not a year. That's the answer, you know? But that speaks to production design in the movie, which is, we've pointed out a few times, really beautiful. Her apartment is so cool.
I mean, the trip to the moon image just behind her bed. I've always wanted a full wall.
Isn't it so like amazing? That. Well, even the mural in her bathroom above the tub that starts bleeding at one point. Yeah. And that's the thing that I love too, is he utilizes his production design sometimes as like plot points in the fucking movie.
Well, what's so impressive to me is that this movie had a budget of $1.5 million, which is so low. And if anyone listening doesn't know a lot about movie budgets, anything under $5 million is considered low budget, sort of. And when you're working with a budget of like $1.5 million, the advice people give you is like, pick a house and write around that house. Like, just, do something really small and contained. This movie is all over Salem and the surrounding area. It has so many locations, such incredible set design and costume design. It's really impressive. I only assume that he called in a lot of favors or something, because it just looks
everyone had, and it's good. A big cast. That's usually the first thing to go when you do a movie this cheap. It's like, okay, can you pare it down to like 4 people? But it's a massive cast, and it's just had to be everyone going, I love working with you. I'll do it for scale.
And on top of that, the amount of stuff that we've been saying, this is a very edited down film for him. The amount of stuff that was cut out of this movie.
Oh,
the amount of additional a lot of stuff was shot for this movie that didn't like whole actors didn't make it a.
Oh shit!
He cut Sid Haig out. He cut Udo Kier out.
So like
he cut Camille Keaton out.
Wow. So like more of his truth was in the movie, even than what we see.
And like, again, that what he did on this budget is insane, because he did more than what's on the screen on this budget.
And it's not like he shot somewhere cheap. He shot in Salem, right?
Salem, which is not cheap.
Like, I don't know. I'm really impressed. And like, I tweeted yesterday, and I really do believe this. Had this movie come out in 2020 under A24,
it would
be a very talked about
Well, they're doing the new Ty West movie, and everyone is hype off of a trailer and a poster alone.
Yeah.
Had this gotten the same treatment, this would be like the big horror film of the year.
And it was talking about stuff The Witch talks about 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but
it does. It's true.
It you know, this is where like reputation and just, I don't know. I just like, I wish this movie would have like a little bit more of a reappraisal, because it's like people like I like didn't watch it because it was Rob Zombie. And I think if a lot of people in the industry watched this movie today, they'd be like, oh fuck, let's get him to do something like this right now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have to speak on behalf of A24 as the A24 stan here. I do think that this is ahead of The Witch. I think The Witch is objectively a better movie than this is. I don't think that Eggers has, I don't know if he's like referencing Lords of Salem. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, totally.
I don't know.
Oh, totally. He's not, but I'm just saying in the sense of like, it was doing, like you said earlier, it was doing things the studios, it was doing things in horror that people weren't ready for yet, I guess.
Right. Well, it's because it was like referencing old movies. So this was a thing that had been in style in the 70s and had kind of been forgotten about, and he was sort of like dusting it off a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're right to point out that it was the first of many properties that were doing this sort of like old Salem witch hunt kind of aesthetic.
So fun.
Yeah, I love this.
Weirdly a fun movie. And I think it's because it leans into the aspect of Salem. You know, I think a lot of witch movies try to, well, we don't want to do the Salem story because that's like what everyone knows. But I love that he just kind of like is like, you know what, I'm going to set it in Salem. It's going to be about Salem. Yeah. Like it's going to be about witches in Salem. Like super cool.
I wanted to point out that the character Heidi is in recovery. She goes to NA meetings, which I always appreciate in movies because it's so rare. But one thing that kind of, I don't know, it kind of bugged me up just a little bit is that the character drinks a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know what Rob Zombie knows or doesn't know about recovery or his own experience with it. But like, if you're in A, I'll just point out, like, you also can't drink.
Yeah. If you're in
and it's a mistake that I've
recovery,
heard.
You shouldn't be like doing something.
Right.
Doing something
So I didn't know what the movie's opinion about that was. Like, was she being dangerous by drinking, or is she just a normal person who can drink but can't do drugs? You know,
I think you know, again, along with the dreadlocks thing, it's a way of reading her character from an outsider's perspective. Like, we don't have to know that much about her, but we know that she's in NA, but she still drinks. We know that she's a white rocker girl with dreadlocks. So like, we know she's making these mistakes. Whether Zombie agrees with them or not, we as an audience know that these are mistakes and they play into her character.
I guess that was my question though. Like, do we know that? Because I'm not sure that people do know that if you are in A that you also can't drink.
I mean, I know that, but only because I've attended NA meetings.
Well, and you also know, like, as I'm sober, right? And I know people I know a dude who got sober and his was, he was more focused on drugs. And I remember hearing about I hadn't seen him in a long time, and someone I ran into knows him, and I'm like, oh, how's he doing? And he's like, he's good. He's like, you know, he just got out of rehab, and they told him he can like soft drink. And I'm like, okay, this is like not a thing. This is like him making up. So I kind of looked at it a little bit like that because his issue was drugs too. So he thought he could drink when he was. And it's like, well, he's going to learn the hard way. But like, there's no recovery program going like, you can drink a little bit.
Yeah. But you know what? I mean, everybody has their own journey, and it's not to judge, because I do know plenty of people who have given up alcohol and then they smoke weed and then they're fine. Yeah. You know, so whatever works for you works for you. I just wasn't sure what the movie knew about recovery, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's interesting that she drinks the more she becomes affected.
It's true. And eventually she does start using again as she's becoming more affected. And this movie has some really interesting things about like babies and birth. And I mean, in some ways she's sort of set up as like a, I don't know, satanic Mary.
Yeah.
From the Bible, you know, like.
Love it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know what I'm swimming around. Like, what do we think? I mean, there's like all sorts of like a little person dressed as like a baby, and like, there's all sorts of weird things like that.
That's just Rob Zombie rolling out like his music video mind for like the latter half of this movie to be like, what's weird? I don't know. She's on a goat now. Look at that. There's doctors
honestly,
that don't have faces.
I feel like a lot of modern like slow burn art house horror movies do that now anyway. They just like throw shit at you and they're just like, what's the reason? Nothing. It was cool looking.
It always makes me think of that. And there's like a still of an interview of David Lynch from who knows when, where the journalist is asking him like, care to elaborate? And he just says, no.
I love that so much.
I love it so
good because it's like, you know what? No.
Yeah. I read that Zombie describes this movie as, quote, if Ken Russell directed The Shining.
Oh, I love that.
What is your opinion on that quote?
I think it's dead on.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's right.
I can agree with that too. Yeah.
I mean, we even get the Shining like title cards of like Tuesday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, The Shining is very uncanny and surreal and slow and considered, and Ken Russell is a little bit baroque and operatic, and I think that's dead on the money.
I think a lot of the, again, music video-y, flashy, like weird shit that we get in the final kind of like act of this movie is straight out of what Ken Russell was doing in like Altered States.
Mm-hmm.
The like goat head, Christ figure. All right, here's some stuff. A weird birthing scene. We're gonna cut around that real fast. And is it LSD? Is it crack? Or is it demons and witches? Whatever.
The other thing I love about it too is like it's the first time I think like, you know, we live in such a puritanical world these days, I feel like, when it comes to movies and cinema and stuff. And I loved the nudity in it. It felt really artful and purposeful and necessary. And like, this is a movie I think I would point to and be like, this is how you can make nudity work in a film if you think it's just about showing tits. Like, it was literally like, the opening scene is literally like 5 witches ranging in various ages, like completely naked from head to toe, and you see everything. But it was so gorgeous and haunting. And
it's great thing about that.
Go ahead, Drusilla. Sorry.
I was going to say the great thing about that is that he's not using nudity in the one of two ways it's always used in horror movies, which is either like, look at that hot lady, she's naked, ain't she so dang hot? Or the other way, which is, look at that old lady, isn't she so scary? Old woman body, terrifying. He doesn't use either of those. It's more like Benjamin Christensen's Haxan, where it's like, here's some naked women. They are witches. This is used for this reason. They are all of different bodies and ages and stuff like that. It's more about the ritual and about the body than it is horror or attraction.
I do think he objectifies. I do think he objectifies his wife a little bit.
Yeah,
but I also
yes, of course.
But I don't think that there's anything wrong with that.
Honestly,
I don't
their
have
relationship.
I was just going to say, at this point, I feel like Sherri Moon's like, you going to get my tits in this one? Please do. I have great tits.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that she's like powerless or passive in this process.
I mean, like the first shot of her is her beautiful butt.
Yeah.
Naked in bed. And it's like, they both discuss that. I don't know. Like, even then, it's just like objectifying her. I don't know. Like, she's totally into it, right? Like,
well, I don't mean that. And objectifying doesn't have to be negative. I mean, there's a tendency, especially right now, where someone will say like, "Oh, she's being objectified in this movie," and we're all social animals, right? So there's like a natural inclination to be like, "Oh, that sounds bad, objectification." Oh, but when you stop for 5 seconds and think about it, you think, so what? Like,
well, like how you would always, like, you worded it perfectly one day to me. You're like, some gatekeeping is actually really good. That's like a word that is like generally used as a, like, it's like used in a negative fashion or connotation 100% of the time. It's like, no, not everybody should have access to this person's phone number. So like they're being gate kept by like, that was my job when I was an assistant to a producer, was to gatekeep her time.
That person,
yes. And it's not a negative for me to do that. It's like some Joe Schmo off the street should not have access to my boss's phone number.
Yeah. I mean, people talk a lot about gatekeeping on horror, especially on like Twitter and spaces like that. And I do think it's really shitty for some old dude to be like, oh, you haven't seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre and you're not a real horror fan. That's shitty. That sucks. There's still not a gate there. I mean, you can watch the movie or not. You know what I mean? And also, I will point out, it's not gatekeeping to simply know things, which people sort of like act like
and
it
it's
is
not
a lot.
gatekeeping to have to prove your worth for something. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? When people are like, I'm being gatekept from the industry as a screenwriter, it's like, but you haven't written anything.
Yeah.
You're not being gatekeeping.
You're gatekeeping by not writing.
Yeah, like you're not doing the work. Like that's not gatekeeping. Like
I don't know how we got here, but I'm a little scared because Drusilla pointed out that she called me the Alex Jones of horror Twitter, and it's like haunted me ever since. I just want to say to the listeners, I'm a very passionate progressive. I'm not the Bill Maher of
Josh is my favorite person.
podcast.
He's wonderful.
He's a delight. I mean, he's a purple-haired liberal, so
yeah.
I don't even think you'd want to be called a liberal.
Sorry, a purple-haired progressive. We can go for the alliteration.
I'm going to very nimbly change the subject.
Okay.
My favorite part of this movie is the three witches, played by Dee Wallace Stone, Judy Geeson, and
Love
Patricia
them.
Quinn.
Love Quinn so much.
Patricia Quinn stan from childhood because I'm the biggest Rocky Horror Picture Show / Shock Treatment fan. Rocky Horror Picture Show for me is probably my root. It's like my foundation of loving cult movies, especially. And I love Patricia Quinn. So when I first saw this and she showed up, I literally screamed because Dee Wallace Stone kind of shows up in a lot of these movies these days. Patricia Quinn is a rare get.
Very much so.
So good in the movie.
You can't look at, the other two actresses are amazing too, so I shouldn't discredit them, but you just like your eye is drawn to her, the way she talks. And then also she's like a palm reader, which is so sexy and cool. And I just wanted to just share some enthusiasm for Patricia Quinn because I just love her so much.
Well, I love that it's three women who are, not represented much in these kind of movies. And they're like a little gaggle together and they are all so different and very well defined. But there's also this like amazing light teenage quality to them too, that I really love, that I think a lesser movie would make them teenagers.
I want a spin-off like Golden Girls series about them, but it's like
killing people
more along the lines of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yes, but still a sitcom, but they're also like crazy, like fucked up witches,
Yeah. It's like one of them comes home, well, I killed him again, audience laugh track.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But like that scene where they kill also another fantastic actor. I can't remember his name. He's married to Conchita Alonso, I believe is her name. Like another great actress and like randomly unexpected in the movie. It's the dude that's on the radio show.
Oh, the guest.
I forget his name.
Oh, Bruce Davison.
Yeah, Bruce Davison. Another fantastic random actor to be in a Rob Zombie movie, if you ask me.
Well, they wanted Bruce Dern.
That makes sense too.
And also, along with Patricia Quinn, they asked Richard O'Brien. But he was busy.
Doing what?
I know.
But that scene where they kill him
for the next season of Crystal Maze or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that scene where they like essentially destroy him in the apartment is just so scary but funny and like I don't know. You just like I root for them because they're such a tight group of friends that you really like believe their relationships and like they really do feel that they're justified in what they're doing, and I kind of buy it because their performances are just so good.
Yeah. They remind me a lot of Elsa Lanchester and Bill Book and Candle.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Just in like just the giddy love that they have for this, and just like and also like it's a mixture like that, and then like Ruth Gordon in Rosemary's Baby, where you're like, okay, so she might kill me, but I kind of want to hang out with her and have some like bread.
Honestly, I hope I have a passion like this when I'm 60 years old.
Or like the ants in like Arsenic and Old Lace, where you're like,
right,
you can kill me, it's fine. Let's hang out.
I
do like movies like this. I mean, The Witch does this too, where they sort of tie satanic witchcraft with a female liberation in a way. I love that. I know as much as I'm in like the horror space, I'm also in like witchy Twitter spaces. And so I know, and also I worked on Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and I've like just been a witch stan since I was a little boy. I know that whenever you tie witchcraft to Satan, people freak out a little bit in that community because they're mostly like Wiccans and sort of like nature religion people. But the truth is there are witches that worship the devil, and witchcraft is a complicated thing because sometimes witches will be like, well, why isn't there a show about Catholics like that that's like this? And it's like, because that show would be boring. And just the same way, like if there was a show about real witches and the way that they live, it would be boring because it's just your religion. The thing about witchcraft is that it's always been a pop culture thing and a real thing, and they comment on each other and change each other over time. And no other religion really has that. And so what these properties are doing is sort of like presupposing that what the Puritans thought about witches back in the day is the real thing. So it's like, it's not a judgment on people in real pagan or witchcraft communities. It's just doing a purely pop cultural thing. And so it's just a thing that I felt like I should point out because some people get really sensitive about that.
For me, watching the movie, I don't know if we're supposed to fully think of them as like a negative thing either, though. You know, I feel like there's a very justification going on, and there's like almost a way I'm rooting for them to finish this process because I feel like there's like I don't know. Like, I don't think like it's not the typical, like the devil's going to take over the world type vibe for me that most shitty witchcraft movies do. There's almost like we need this to happen or the world will end kind of vibe for me. I don't know. Yeah. I love the characters so much that I kind of like, I'm with them on this journey. Like, I actually really like Bruce Davison in the movie, but I also wanted him to get killed by these witches because I like them more. So there was there was just like, to me, it was, I don't look at it as a straight up negative. And I think this is what you were saying, just because it is tied to Satanism.
It is like a women's liberation. It's like the end of The Witch, which I'm sure we'll do an episode on. But spoiler alert, The Witch ends with her, making a pact with the devil, and she's with these other naked women in a grove in the woods, and they all fly away, and she's happy and free. And so you're kind of like happy that all this shit is happening because she's free for the first time instead of a shitty Puritan living in the middle of nowhere. So I feel like it's sort of doing that kind of thing. Like it's sort of tying being in league with the devil with like freedom and
even Hoxon in the 1920s did the same thing where it discussed like the not super accurate, but like the history of like witchcraft and Satanism. And then at the very end, it's like, yep. And all those women we said that back then would be witches are now we just call hysterical. And that can be treated with a Steely Dan, kids. Buy one in the lobby.
I feel like Hoxon is one of his main references in this, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, the way
that movie is a delight.
The way The Witch was, about, to me, it was about, coming into a womanhood and puberty and just all that kind of stuff. I almost feel like this is like almost like a study on like what it is to grow into middle age and, that kind of stuff. So like, it's a really fascinating, like, I love that like the demographic of this movie is like not under 40. And for me, it's just, again, it's like a type of movie you don't get a lot. Not a lot of people would wade in those waters. A studio would also tell you, like, can you make her 12 or like, can you make her 22 and hot,
Yeah.
So like, I appreciate that. But I also think it's almost like, not so literal, but it's almost like all the women that are taking her, like giving her power are postmenopausal. They're like, they're quote unquote elderly. They're wise. They're the sage and stuff. And they're kind of like telling her like, this is the next part of your life. You're like Sherri Moon's character, like kind of bridges the gap between like what a normal witch movie would probably be age wise and like what zombies. I don't know. I just think it's really cool that like, to me, it's like a study of like entering the second half of your life.
Yeah. I think that we should pivot again into our game, Have They Seen It? Which is the game where we pontificate wildly about whether or not certain notable figures have seen this movie. I guess I'll start so that I'm not throwing anyone for a loop. I'm going to ask, has Meghan Markle seen Lords of Salem?
Feels like a no to me.
Feels like a no to me too.
What about
she hasn't even heard?
I bet she doesn't.
Yeah, she doesn't
know
know
what it is.
She doesn't know Rob Zombie is.
Although
anything about that.
Devil's advocate, she hates that other princess so much. I could see her watching it out of spite.
Oh.
And then calling her and being like, "Oh my god, I watched this movie last night. It was about witchcraft."
Yeah, I feel like maybe Prince Harry has seen this, but definitely not Meghan Markle.
Oh my god.
Right?
So here's mine. He was cut out of the movie. Do you think Udo Kier ended up seeing this?
No,
absolutely not.
No,
absolutely not.
Yeah, no
fucking way.
He would have seen it if he was in it.
I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think Udo Kier has seen Suspiria. I don't think Udo Kier has seen any movies that he's been in.
And I kind of would love that if he's never seen one of his own movies.
That's such a power move. That's a power move.
Okay, mine is. Do you think Ellen DeGeneres has seen this?
Absolutely not.
No, but Portia has.
Portia has. Portia's cool. Portia's cooler than Ellen.
Portia's really cool. I want Portia to leave her.
Yeah, I know.
And enter cool. Yeah. Oh, even better. I also want Portia to do another horror movie.
She would be great. Did you see Ellen's furniture design show on HBO Max?
No.
One of the co-judges was my classmate at
that's right. You told me.
It's so weird. It was so very weird. That's neither here nor there. Well, Michael, thank you so much for joining us.
Super fun.
I think that's it. So everyone should watch Lords of Salem on Tubi, which is the place where it's streaming, so you can get some of those Febreze ads.
Honestly, Tubi's the best. Tubi's the fucking best. But I did love that you said that yesterday. Like, you'll be watching like someone being sacrificed, gory and bloodily, and then you'll be like, "Buy Febreze."
Michael, where can people follow you?
I'm on Twitter at Michael Ken, and I'm on Instagram at Michael TJ Kennedy.
Okay, Drusilla.
I'm everywhere at Hide Sister, so check me out. And you,
love
Josh?
Your screen name.
Thank you.
I'm mostly on Twitter at Joshua Conkle. And now the show has socials. You can follow Bloodhouse on Instagram and Twitter. BLOOD for blood, HAUS for house, and pod. So we're everywhere. You can email us too at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. So if you like the show, please rate us on Apple and all the things. And thanks so much. See you next week.